Game of our tiebreaker, it's OG versus VP. Suns fan here with Parge. Synderen hacking up a lung over there or something. How you doing? You feeling healthier than him?
I'm doing great. Happy to be using the same headset as him. Hopefully he doesn't do any transferring, however that
Everything's
works.
going to be fine. He's just faking illness, so he gets a free day's pay, of course.
Yeah,
typical
like
Synderen, easy money style.
Yeah, so I'll do my best to hit half of the humor level of Synderen.
That's not going to be
smart, funny guy.
Everything times zero is zero, Purge. It's going to be fine. But yeah, VP versus OG. OG, if they win this, they will continue on along with Gaming Gladiators, and VP will be eliminated. If OG loses, then we're doing this all over again.
Yeah, it could be a lot. Tiebreaker days are a big deal, but you never really know what's going to happen. Even drafts that look a little one-sided could just really change a lot if a lot of ganks happen. They talked about the Primal Beast being very good against Enchantress and Nature's Prophet. Certainly the case, but I'm looking at this possible reality that happens where the Ember Spirit just starts setting up kills on your lines and your hoodwinks and picks them off so many times that they catapult a gold advantage, pressure the Luna, and at some point they deal with the Primal Beast. So he should be strong this game. He looks strong, beautiful item set, but things can change depending on how the fights go.
Yeah, I've seen some real abomination of sets, but this one, you've seen the one that they combine, like the polar bear one, like it's super white and then has like the golden arms or something like that.
That was a bad time for Dota when those two sets came out. They look nice when all the pieces are together, but otherwise it looks like Slack's playing the hero.
That's right. Slacks loves that kind of stuff.
He does.
Puts together the worst of the worst abominations. So BZM will be playing against Squadx mid again. Oh, not again, but Squadx 2 games in a row. Hopefully this is a better performance this time around. They didn't get Huskard, which they could have. They mentioned it. I was like, actually, this is a pretty good Huskard game, but ends up being the Primal instead.
It would have been okay, but they didn't really have that much front line, and Primal just does so much for your team fights to make it easy because your opponents have to focus on you if you're in the front and what you pressure. But playing a Huskar is more like you have to play around the hero. Sometimes he sits back and farms camps, whereas Primal Beast is more of an aggressive in-your-face hero, and it has a little bit of a different playstyle. But Huskar certainly could have worked well in the matchup.
Yep, Squadx has 5 last hits. That's the amount that he had at about 10 minutes of last game, so already doing better.
Good for him.
Good to see. Have you felt like this patch, what do you think of this patch, since we haven't really talked about it too much? Like, not the letter patch, but the overall.
I'm enjoying it. I mean, I love nerdy mechanics stuff, so the fact that there's way more prevalence in magic resistance reduction items, I think is exciting.
Really exciting, yeah, you're right.
Exploit those, as we saw, teams really exploiting the Shiva's Guard for that reason. Teams buying Parasma. A lot of teams realize that things feel good, and that's why they buy them. But me, I know how the math works. Because one fateful day I spent too much time with a spreadsheet making love, and now I know that stacking those things together is very synergistic.
Okay, good to know. I'll definitely remember that in about 5 minutes. Sayush is playing the Nature's Prophet. This hero feels like it's kind of dropped off a bit. It was probably the most impactful support early on in this patch, but hasn't been picked as much lately for whatever reason.
It got those nerfs again. It got another like 3 base damage nerf. I mean, Nature's Prophet, as you know, S-tier model.
S-body, yeah.
Huge attack range, great damage, incredible agility gain, incredible intelligence gain, really solid strength gain. All of this was to make up for the fact that he had shit skills, and then they buffed his skills, and then you're like, oh wow, this is really powerful when you see
Sprout does damage now? Unbelievable.
Yeah. Sprout does damage, TP gives you all this damage and damage or armor crap or whatever, and yeah, it ended up being really good, and now it's been nerfed appropriately a couple times.
Bushwhack will not hit, but the Torrent will, so Whisper shall receive the Lotus instead of the Morphling, as Squadx getting really low in the mid lane, but so far the CS is pretty much a wash between the two.
Did you see them spend 180 mana to get back 125 mana?
Wow, that's really cool math. Thanks. Keep bringing that up.
Yep.
Really appreciate that.
That's why I'm here, guys.
I mean, you're from NA. You shouldn't be good at math, so it's kind of weird, honestly.
Some would doubt that I am good at math in the first place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could be making up those numbers.
That's true. No, you would just believe me.
That's what I would, of course.
You are also from NA, so
yes, unfortunately.
No one is here to check us on this.
Well, you can check my body weight. That will pretty much tell the tale right there. As noticed, he's playing the DK, the off lane this time. As we see Sayush come in with the Blood Grenade TP. Whisper taking the brunt of the damage. FNG will fall first, though, so Ari gets first blood as Whisper. Oh, the Torrent hits, actually. Kiritan does die, and he dies first, so Whisper gets the much-needed XP.
So I'm saying, I don't know how much they paid for Whisper, but it was definitely worth it.
Yeah,
this guy is so good.
Meanwhile, Notice dies.
I was waiting for the day that some international team would steal him away from the South scene, honestly. Because he had so many consistent performances for such a long time. He was clearly the best player in the region. I was like, someone's going to want this guy eventually.
Yep, and OG are reaping the benefits. He's had a really good tournament so far. As FNG is brought back with the Torrent. The Hurricane used. As FNG will live. Wild Wing Reaper, not so much.
They got the experience. No gold, though. Still pretty good.
Good console usage. Careful production.
They hacking the system right now.
That's right. Type in status to find out everyone's Steam ID. Searing Chains in the mid lane. BZM. We're trying to walk this off. The Flame Guard continued to tick away, but the Uproar will provide the slow.
Nice. Get some separation there. I mean, Primals are happy to ditch the lane like that because surprisingly he's in a situation where his opponent actually has a little bit more AoE magic damage, can outplay him a little bit. So he wants to drag those to the neutral camps to accelerate his gold and experience gain. We have a TP going to... Oh, that's Prophet. He's trying to get the kill.
Yeah, Blood Grenade.
It missed.
BZM will be able to walk away.
This is when Sayu realizes my Blood Grenade missed.
It's Sayush.
Oh, my bad.
Can't get that right.
I'm a new caster. It's my first time.
That might actually be incorrect. I think we're relying on Tsunami to pronounce that right, which could be horrible.
I was in the conversation, or I was in the room when I heard the confirmation. Went straight on my memory, sorry. It's the NA in me.
And Morphling, haven't really talked about him yet. This hero has kind of fallen off a bit. I feel like it was the carry along with Naga a couple letter patches ago, but now it's kind of fallen to the wayside, but we're seeing it here again. Yeah, what do you think of that hero right now?
It's kind of interesting because Morphling's items didn't really get touched. I mean, did the hero get nerfed in the last patch? I actually can't recall, but he wasn't like super directly nerfed, I don't believe. So yeah, Mage Slayer got nerfed. He didn't really buy Mage Slayer that often. Is that a second wasted Blood Grenade? Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, well, you got to get rid of that HP somehow. As they do end up finding the kill on Ahri, but Regen Rune was taken in the bot side by BZM. And this Primal Beast hero, who was it we were casting yesterday? They got to such a rough start, but he ended up going 8-4.
The mid player on Heroic.
Yep, that's right. That's who it was. Good call, Purge.
He played really good.
Yeah, the Primal Beast kind of used as an off lane, it feels like, more often than in the recent memory, but the mid lane is always appreciated for the extra XP that you get early on.
Analog? Was it Analog?
That's right, Analog. Very good.
What if I just said a random word there?
That's
was
right.
Was that Jigglypuff?
No, Analog, very good player. And I actually would have remembered that, believe it or not.
Yeah, he had that was one of the best Primal performances I've seen.
Yeah.
Especially on this patch.
Oh, that one.
That Centaur got him.
Very sad onslaught there for BZM. BZM also had a really good tournament thus far. Of course, I feel like the games that we've cast, they've mostly won.
Yeah, you and me.
So feels like maybe a little bit biased in that department, but
I just love. It's fun to watch some of these teams get kind of a recovery moment where OG's had a rough year for a while, and now Whisper's about to have a rough lane.
Yeah, boat's coming, provides him with the buff as Kiritich will be going on. Looks like Whisper in the trees will be surrounded. Seb is here. The torrent hits along with the impale onto 2. Kiritich has to back away now as BZM kind of trying to catch up to him, but the stun is there from the Centaur Courser again. As Whisper X-backs FNG. Tomato even making his way over here. All right, Impale actually connects as well, so Sayuch is dead. Sheep will cancel the TP, and that'll be the death of FNG, so OG with very nice rotations here.
I did not expect that to happen when he was surrounded by three players. His boat buff didn't even hit himself. It did give him some separation, but the funny moment actually was that when you impale somebody, I think, can you run under them? I think he might be able to. He also has phase boots, so I'm not sure if he was phased or it was the impale, but that was a great torrent setup to give the this follow Ravage follow-up. And now...
What do you think could stack on someone's head during impale? You can make your own Mega Meepo. Kiritich getting on him from the trees. Seb is there. Torrent connects. And Whisper able to finish the job. Huge kill for OG.
He did not expect Seb to still be there, and the torrent landed on him. I mean, he definitely saw the pump fake, but man, he just hasn't been doing any morphing. This is the second death now where he got caught without morphing.
And Whisper eventually will pay a price, but it's well worth it, I'm sure. On the OG side, as we can see the pulverize from BZM. Find the target on a Notice, who's also surrounded by a couple more members of OG. So both offlaners end up dying around the same time here.
Yeah, great rotation.
Oh my God!
No way!
Ah, Seb! A surprise level 6. It was a very early level 6 for him, and he's taking full advantage.
Dude, that is 2 kills in a row on the Morphling.
He has to walk back. Oh, goodness.
Oh my gosh, that was so huge. Let's watch that. He just walked up.
Yeah.
He did start morphine in time in his defense. It was not enough. That's the best feeling as a line support, genuinely.
I wouldn't know, but I can imagine, yeah.
That fast 6 into the finger of death kill on the carry. Oh.
I mean, he should have known he was level 6. I think he did technically show during that chase earlier, but
yeah,
it's still hard to try to counter that.
That's one of those snowball things that are just so important. If Whisper doesn't do so good and get those kills and keep Seb alive, with him get experience, it just all ends up cascading into that kill on Morphling. And what's definitely cascaded is the tilt level for Kiritich.
How did that Centaur not hit? That looked like it should have. They need to update the visuals on that stomp.
Yeah, I'm sure.
After that nerf,
needs a visual indicator on
like
creep
that.
abilities and hero abilities.
Yeah, why not? This needs to be mobile friendly. Someday we'll get there.
Steam Deck friendly.
Oh God. Yeah, that's just painful to watch people try to play the game on that. Early 2K lead for OG. As VP will apply some pressure to this tier 1. They find BZM. The ult comes out from the Nature's Prophet. That's the death of the Primal Beast.
That ward right there below where the Nature's Prophet was, spotting everything perfectly, giving them that great setup. And something that's often a problem when you have that great vision is that somebody messes it up and makes it clear that you're about to go on him. So the fact that he was low and they didn't give it away was really well done there by VP. That was a huge kill because now this net worth is completely changed.
Yep, it's been effectively nullified for the time being.
I gotta imagine that was Nature's Prophet placing that ward in the past. Maybe that time that he TP'd trying to kill the nature, or tried to kill in the Primal Beast.
Kiritich, a little early attribute shift. Sharpshooter's coming. Tomato is here. Doesn't have Eclipse. I'm not sure if they're gonna have the damage to rip through him. We'll see. Waveform is available onto the other side of the tree line. Acorn Shot gives a little bit of vision, and it actually will be enough. So Kiritich dies again.
Nicely done. I wasn't super confident they were going to get him, but it's still early game. Morphling doesn't have his Yasha yet, so his movement speed is still pretty garbage. His waveform was only level 2 because he opted for a lot more adaptive strikes, so great rundown and kill.
Action doesn't stop. Whisper gets off the boat. Doesn't really have any follow-up, though, as FNG showing... Oh, my God. Tiebreaker actually deletes all his creeps. And now FNG. Nice searing chains. Actually, the Pulverize only procs half of a little upswing from him. Is the Finger of Death coming in from Seb to delete Squadix. And now noticed completely out of mana, brought back by Seb and company. It looks like that's the death of the Dragon Knight. So 3 dead for VP. So much back and forth in this game.
They've just done such a good job punishing the VP heroes.
Already.
Like with the Primal Beast, the first pick was a Dragon Knight. It got pushed to offlane, and it does okay there. Not as good as the other 2 roles, but you can kill it with magic damage, and that's what Primal does. Just does a huge amount of magic damage, and that's why Whisper went on that go, because he was planning ahead 10 seconds ahead of time. It looked like a weak go, but what it did was it set up time for BZM to get there, who's the big damage dealer right now. So
Seb, Blink Dagger, 12.5 minutes. Absurd.
Yeah.
And now they're going to smoke, and this will definitely not.
Slacks could never do this.
Yeah, well, he could. He goes Midas, though, probably, I'd imagine. This will definitely be a surprise for VP, but there is no Finger of Death this time. But if they can catch out Kiritich, Jesus.
Here you go, you got it.
It's a tough one.
It's
going to be popped by FNG. There's the jump. They have the Impale, they have the Trample, but see the HP already going into Kiritich's way. Seb is going to have to sacrifice his life, which actually is probably worth a decent amount. Yeah, that was a killing spree. Searing Chains on the BZM will uproar and run.
That was kind of a wild go, honestly. They did not have Finger of Death. It's level 3 Impale. Yeah, the Primal Beast maybe can pop his ulti there, but they even saw the Enchantress nearby. The upside is that they only lost Lion, so it did force some reactions from VP. Those kind of moves are still okay because the other players on your team are getting net worth. Most importantly, Tomato here, who is on the top, sitting up there with Whisper, the Kunkka, the offlane Kunkka. That's such a good start.
Yeah, what do you think of Tomato in this lineup so far?
I think he's been great.
I think he's technically been considered a stand-in for now. Who knows if he's going to be considered for a long-term position, but So far, so good, right?
I feel like the seed is his for the time being, for sure. Even if they hypothetically get knocked out in this BO3 here, not likely. They're already up 1, but I think he's been doing great. Criticisms against Tomato are sometimes that he plays too safe. He isn't necessarily like those Yatoro-like carries that just go and do wild things on their own while playing safe. Like, sometimes he does, but I think he's just been fitting in really good with OG here. Really impressed with his playstyle.
Ari was spotted out. Sayush comes in to help block him out a bit. Ari will drop. Yeah, I agree. Tomato, it's always been a very stable carry, I would say.
He has been. But he doesn't necessarily wow like other top carries, so he's up there.
He wowed me once because he bought Glacier before it was actually buffed.
You do love your unique shards.
That's right.
What do you think about the Mirana shard?
The extra leap, and then you get the Belch of Doom, right?
Yes.
The Belch on the Panther.
And you get a double Starstorm on every person hit by the Belch.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And you can vector target where the Belch goes. It could be a fart.
The vector target is very thick. Like the arrow is really like, weird, right?
It looks like a rectangle.
Yeah.
It's like a girthy rectangle with a point.
I don't know. It's kind of a meh one, I would say. I put that as like a C tier.
Okay.
That's got to be bottom 25 in the game, I would say.
Bottom 25.
There's a lot of good shards.
There's probably a lot of good shards, yeah.
Have to make that list someday. Yeah, OG with the 2K lead so far is Whisper and company looking to go into VP's triangle. But they seem to be aware. So they will back away in time as Tomato has the Manta style. Yeah, I think Tomato's issue is he was just stuck in NA for so long. That's probably the NA NSA, I guess, technically.
It's hard to rank up from NA to EU. It's not always easy. You know who did it? Divine Llama.
Yeah, that's a really good story, actually, for sure. He has definitely shown that he is... Because he was stuck in the Tier 2 scene for a really long time.
He was, yeah. Then they went to EU Tier 2, and then they ranked up to EU Tier 1, and then now his MMR is freaking 12K. So it's like, okay, you can go wherever you want now.
That's right.
You deserve it.
A beast has been created. Seb going for... The shard, which was just nerfed in this last patch, gives a lot less magic resistance now, and the mana drain does not go through fog as Sayush is found out in the trees. Notice and FNG are going to back him up, though, focusing on Seb for the time being, but see Ari with that sharpshooter. They're going to be able to delete Sayush to start things out. Seb is still alive, pulverized into the boat as Whisper has come as well, but the impetus destroying BZM has to run away, attempting to TP out, will not get out in time, so it's a 1-for-1 as Whisper's still up and running. As Tomato has come again, there's the Eclipse to take out FNG. Can't find a connection on a second as noticed. Takes out Seb finally. The Lion just living for so long.
And the Primal Beast as well, really. He just went in there and did everything. Eventually gets picked off because of the ward, but OG's skirmishes finally getting met decently by VP, something that's kind of led to OG getting advantages. They get these little hero rotation things, and if your opponents don't respond in the same amount of force, you usually just lose those. And that's kind of what GG pioneered a lot over the last year, but now almost every team is doing that to remain competitive. Because if you don't bring the same heroes, you're going to lose the fight.
Yeah, do you think Gaiman... They don't look the same as they have.
They looked great last game.
They've looked great, and then they look really bad, which has never been a thing, like since Quinn has joined their team. Do you think it's more patch-related than anything, or is there something else? If you had to speculate, your job is to speculate.
God, I love speculating and telling you what I think. I think that, and I've said this on panel like twice now, I think Gaming Gladiators won almost every tournament last year, which means teams are constantly watching them. They invented a bunch of smart Dota play things that teams are all copying, and almost all their heroes and strats got nerfed by Icefrog because they won every freaking tournament.
That's right.
That's what happens. I have tons of excuses for Gaming Gladiators, and I'll have tons of excuses for them for at least 3 more months.
Okay.
And frankly, they're 7-7 right now playing a tiebreaker. They're not doing that bad.
Yeah, not too shabby. Yeah, this tournament's really brutal just because first group stage is really short. Half the teams get eliminated. It's like, okay, well, you have a bad couple days and you're just done. And that's basically where Liquid is
the
right
Liquid
now.
story, yeah.
Yeah.
3 in a row.
Yeah, something about DreamLeague with them. They just can't deal with it.
Maybe next time when they get out of the bracket, though, they're going to be really happy.
Yeah, for sure. FNG is spotted. Sayush is there as well. Sprout is already deleted. And so is FNG, but counter initiation now from Notice and company. Seb is taken out as Whisper with the X Torrent, but would now just be running away. So support for support.
Okay, he's going... I think he had Bloodstone queued up on Kunkka. because it gives you AoE for your torrents. Because there isn't the torrent AoE talent anymore, I believe, at 10 or at level 20, right?
Oh, did they get rid of that?
Yeah, I think they replaced it with a torrent cooldown reduction talent. The 20 to the right, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see the talents for Kunkka Productions. Click on that. There we go.
Yeah, torrent cooldown.
Yeah, okay.
So this is your solution, I guess, if you're really far ahead in your Whisper.
That's cool.
You just buy the Bloodstone, increase the AoE.
I'm surprised he's not going for the Shard first, but perhaps hoping for the eventual Tormy.
I was thinking about that earlier when you said bottom 25 shards, and I was like, I feel like I haven't seen Kunkka shard in a while, even though we see Kunkka.
Tidal Wave is so good, though. There's no way.
It can be.
They've been purchasing it pretty. I feel like you see it every game. Yeah,
they're probably there. It's probably just.
If you go for the Ags build, you go for the shard as well. That just synergizes so well.
Yeah. I just probably haven't seen it that much. It's maybe not like the most prioritized. Like if you don't go an Ags build, you don't necessarily buy it. Is probably what I'm thinking. But
yeah, I feel like every game now has been an Ags game for Kunkka, at least these days.
Yeah, it's still very effective. It's just not as overpoweredly strong as it was before.
Squadix working on his BKB. The odds are very relatively even right now. The game just slightly in favor of OG right now. Tomato leading the way in the net worth.
Oh, I got very confused because they were flipped from which side was left and right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was like, why does VP have better odds if they are losing them? Very close, very close.
See if I mean, he's changed his mind on items quite often. See if he actually goes for the Bloodstone like you said. It would be pretty cool to see, though. That was definitely an early build when they changed the AoE, or they added the AoE mechanic.
Is that people bought Bloodstone on every single hero in the game? Is that what you're talking about? Surely it'll be good.
Are they going to steal this Tormy? This is maybe how he gets his shard. But it's going to be spotted. They can see the Enchantress taking heavy damage.
She's helping spread the damage between their three heroes.
Not able to steal it, and Ari will be the one, so he gets the boomerang.
This is a boomerang.
I believe Seb purchased his own, if I'm not mistaken, so I think it was a 50-50 between. Oh, actually, no, Kunkka is just farming so well, he actually was not in the 50-50 there.
Damn.
As we see Notice with the Dragon Tail. TP not going to come through for the Nature's Prophet. Ari going to turn this around.
Just got baited.
Yeah, miscommunication from VP, and it's going to turn around to a kill onto Notice instead. And it's not just any DK. He's the top net worth on their team right now.
Yeah, that one was a bit weird. I mean, it was right by the tier 2 tower, right? So it's kind of hard to get that kill, frankly, with just their two heroes. Large mistake, and now they get to cross the map. Seb gets another finger stack. I feel like that's got to be his fourth or his fifth one. So they're just doing great on the OG side.
Yep, keeping the pressure on. Question is, when can they go for Roche? The Roche team is, or the Roche potential is not the highest, but it's not terrible. They're at the average time now, just about, for when Roche is usually taken in this tournament.
All right, he bought the spell lifesteal item. He has to buy Bloodstone now. There's no going back.
Of course. Yeah, it doesn't. Does it even turn into anything else anymore? Eternal Shroud was changed.
Dagon? No, the Revenant's Brooch.
Oh, yeah.
That's the other one, I think.
Of course. Harken's Blade. Yeah.
And Dagon. Yeah, Dagon, right? Yeah, Dagon's the other one. Okay. It's actually got decent options. I just never see anybody buy it first, and I sometimes struggle to do that as well. I'm like, surely a point booster is just better.
But it does feel good.
The color sprinkles are nice.
Yeah, it feels like it's doing a lot more than it is.
Yeah, probably true.
But the purple is nice. As smoke comes in from OG. There's a scan, so Tomato will be spotted by that.
He's building the Conda.
Yeah, what do you think of the Conda build on Luna?
I think it's one of the best Conda builders in the game, without a doubt. The item was obviously overbuilt in pubs. It just got buffed by 50 damage because it was overrated, of course.
All right, I'm taking a survey of my co-casters with their tier list of Conda. Do you think Sniper's top 5?
No.
Okay, incorrect, Purge. Good try.
I mean, obviously with the Rapier build, it's God tier, but
yeah, getting there is difficult.
I guess is what you're saying. So I guess in a way, yes.
Cinderin laughed in my face when I said it's okay on Sniper. And we did see it this tournament as Sayush is spotted out by Ari. Sharpshooter's going to be there with BZM.
Are you talking about that Eggs game?
Yeah.
But where he didn't finish the Conda?
Correct.
But he was going to.
That's right. That's a win.
That doesn't make, like, just because it's really good in Turbo does not mean that it's very good on the hero. I think Ags in that game was good. And Conda was a natural progression.
VP, oh, they spot out Tomato. This would be a huge kill. Impale's not going to be there for Seb because of the BKBs, and Tomato is done.
Yeah.
Big kill for VP. It's been a while since they've gotten a valuable one.
Yeah, so this is what we saw from the Luna 2 games ago for Gaming Gladiators a little bit, is that she, Duraccio, I think, opted for like BKB and Hurricane Pike and Manta, all these defensive items, but if you go the Conda, then your build gets a little bit full, a little bit fast, but if he is in a position where VP doesn't punish him with a lot of heroes, then the fast Conda can just be fantastic because you're just dropping these huge nukes that are doing like 500 damage plus the Lucent Beam or something, and applying Scotties and potentially applying your 20 shards. Like I think it just makes so much sense for this like poke thing. It's like you can actually do, it's like you have an adaptive strike on Luna basically, which is really nice to not have to commit while contributing to kills on squishy heroes.
In a way, it kind of has replaced Silver Edge.
Yeah.
Because that item just doesn't exist now because it doesn't have a crit, essentially. As Ari, he's going to be spotted now, but he's going to use the Atos. They're going to get aggressive. Seb comes in with the finger. Sayush is done.
He wants that HP bonus.
Is that the 15 talent or 20?
15, yeah.
Yeah, that always feels good when you have all these stacks.
I think that was his 5th one now. He's doing great. Seb's having a really good game. I think everybody in OG is playing fantastic so far. And he is a simple Void Stone away from his Bloodstone being finished. So this should be it if he... I think. They changed the recipe recently. I can't remember. I think it's a Void Stone instead of a recipe or something.
Sure. Yep.
Oh, you don't know that?
For which one?
Bloodstone.
Oh, yeah, Bloodstone. I don't know. Yeah. It's all over the place. I mean, I think that is in consideration for top 3 item that has been changed most often in the last 20 years that I've been playing.
That's true.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you miss the charge days?
Nah, those were very snowbally, I feel like.
Yeah.
When Storm gets 20 charge or less, you just don't die ever.
Yeah.
OG into
Storm
the pit.
is kind of annoying, but there's some other heroes that was kind of fun on, like Death Prophet or something.
They're going to X BZM so he can clear out this wave. He's pretty close to his ag, so we'll provide another break opportunity onto the DK.
You see his layering cloaks? It's got the Eternal Shroud and the Gossamer's Cape.
Oh.
They look exactly the same.
That's not. I should actually
They actually do look
that.
very similar.
BZM is spotted. He's stunned up, already at half HP. The waveform in as well. Gets off the blade mail. The Pulverize is coming through. A lot of damage as Kiritich dies first somehow. BZM eventually does fall, but it cost them 3 now. And there's all cores for VP. As Sayush, he's been dying a lot this game. That is the way of nature's prophet in this patch, it feels like. Triple kill for Tomato, and Seb even finds the 5th member in FNG. We'll be sucking him from afar. Boomerang from Ari, enough to get a full team wipe.
What a fight there for OG.
Man.
I'm surprised.
BZM was the one initiated on. He lived for so long.
Yeah, the power of blade mail. I think the players would know by now, but yeah, but they also have like the Ag's Bloodstone. BZM gets jumped on here, the stun, the blade mail gets popped. The boat buff comes in to like really buy him some time here. That really did make a big difference. So when he finally dies, the Eclipse and the Torrents and the boat damage and Ari's everything, yeah, it was just way too much.
The Aegis is now taken.
I guess they just thought they could kill him really quickly at the start of the fight, but it was not the case.
Yeah, I feel like this tournament, a lot of people have been trying to initiate on these Primal Beasts that are just really thick and girthy. Is Tomato enjoying what he's seeing? And again, OG, if they win this, they will continue on in the tournament along with Gaimin, with VP being eliminated. And VP in that first game against Game, it looked horrific, in all honesty. Just they lost within 5 minutes, it felt like. And now down 7k to OG. Tomato with the damage rune, has the Conda, has the Aegis. Notice, gonna pop the DK for him. Tomato is spotted. Take a right click from FNG, but here comes BZM. The Pulverize onto the Morph. Squadix trying to focus on the supports in the back. As he waveforms in, forced to use his BKB, turns into Luna. And Squadix able to take out Ari at the very least, so VP not fully punished. Seb.
Give him that stack.
Yeah, he wants to save that finger just in case. Get that stack, you need the right click. Was it fast enough?
Oh, I don't
Doesn't
think
look
so.
like it.
Oh, that's depression mode. Very
Seb
sad.
is probably, look at him, very angry, screaming at his
Only
team.
5. Only 5. Oh, he didn't even get that HP talent, I believe. I think he went for the Hex cooldown one at 15.
Oh, okay.
Because the HP is not very high.
And now Tomato still with the Aegis will pound upon the tier 2. And OG continuing to increase now in this lead, despite just a 1-for-1 in supports. VP, their buildings are starting to crumble. There's the Bloodstone. We saw that in the last fight as well. Not the most typical pickup on Kunkka these days, but extra 75 AoE, like you said, for each torrent.
I mean, it's kind of a cool item for the hero, because if they do go on you, and you get down to like 20% HP, and you cast everything and pop the Bloodstone, you could get full healed and boat buffed afterwards.
True.
So it's like they have to kill you through boat buff at full HP. It can make a really big difference. Kondo now finished. He's got Scotty queued up. This is the build, and he got the Enchanted Quiver as well, so he gets to play Enchanted Quiver damage, and Lucent Beam damage, and Conda damage, and a Scotty once the Scotty's finished. It is an amazing poke.
Squadix able to dodge a lot. The Gleipnir will follow him.
That was nice accidental dodge.
Although, Whisper will find them there. There's the sheep from Seb. And the burst to follow. My goodness, they have so much damage. 70 seconds without the Ember now.
They're just
Tomato can just go in deep with the Aegis.
They're just doing such a good job pressuring. They just haven't slowed down at any point. Like, they lose a skirmish here or there, and then they instantly set up with 3 heroes on a different part of the map and find an enemy squad. Like, they are just reading VP's movements and not letting up. It's the value of having like 8 stuns, I guess.
And as always, with a Luna, this tower goes down. Fortification's going to delay things. Sayush trying to kill off the wave for the backdoor protection to kick in. But BZM's going to be able to push in mid pretty early. Yeah, now Tomato can just go absolutely ham with the glaives. So I have to assume that this will be a set of racks for OG early. 30 minutes. Pretty fast.
And basically uncontested, right? Like, that was all from the gank on the Ember Spear, where he got away and looked fine.
TP. Seb trying to delay as long as possible. Noticed being slowed by the many mechanics added onto that mana drain over time. Notice will now BKB. BZM.
Good dodge.
It does dodge the sharpshooter.
That was really close.
And it could turn into a fight.
They're still set up. This is so
Whisper,
wild.
he gets silenced, but the boat comes out along with the Bloodstone. Will it heal enough?
No.
He's taking tons of damage. The impetus is just destroying him. Finally, the Kunkka will fall, but he gets off the Torrent Storm just in time as BZM focusing on the Dragon Knight. Squadix on the back line. We'll be able to get out, but noticed not going to have the same privilege. So 2 dead, including that Enchantress for VP.
It's just another perfect demonstration of the way that OG's playing this game, right? They chase that Dragon Knight, he gets away, and then there's Whisper like cutting off his movement, going in an aggressive place, and yes, he did die without casting all of his spells, but it's allowing all of OG to force fights, and that's really difficult to do. It's actually something that made, when Seb was playing Wind Ranger at that famous tournament, that's what was so good about the Shard. It's that when they move to approach their opponents, the Wind Shard would prevent them from escaping. So now it's like, okay, now you have to fight us. And they're really just making that happen without having to pick Wind Ranger, just by having really good map play. So OG just continues to catch and pressure their opponents.
Aegis about to be consumed. This is the last fortification for a while for VP. And the Lucent Beam Conda being used on FNG, but looks like this tower at the very least will go down. BZM trying to provide some cover. Now that Whisper has respawned, we'll see how aggressive they want to be. Perhaps they wait for the next Aegis. I mean, that is what most teams have been doing at this stage of the game. 13k lead for OG, and I mean, by then, the Butterfly will be online for Tomato as well. And I mean, Butterfly's really good this game. None of these heroes from VP that right-click want to buy an MKB or anything of the like. So
literally all 5 heroes right-click on the enemy squad. So yeah, Butterfly would be amazing if he can get it done before the game's over. He might win too fast. I don't know if he's going to make it.
True. Although VP have something to say about that. Their smoke already gets popped as BZM. Will be spotted. Popsy Uproar going to be really hard to take out now. Has the Aghanim Scepter, of course, as the boat comes in on top of FNG and the Dragon Knight. FNG is dead. No way to get back in the game. And Tomato with his shard. This stupid-ass Moonglaive surrounding him.
You don't like it?
Literally looked like something from Warcraft 3. Very low polygon. BZM with that shield rune still intact. Will pound upon the tower.
I mean, they just lost pure damage. Morphling's definitely not ready yet. It's 10,000 gold behind Luna.
They have to do something.
Then kill the
support. Time. Kiritich jumps in. He's already at half HP. The Eclipse coming through for Tomato. Getting force staffed to the other side. He's getting pretty damn low. Lucent Beam is there. It gets force staffed again, but the Pulverize keeping the Morphling in place. Tomato finally does drop. Can VP win this fight? They lose their Morphling though, as Whisper is super low. Sharpshooter there, but Squadix is the one cleaning up. He gets a triple kill on the Ember Spirit as BZM stunned up now. There's the Sprout from Sayuch. Ultra kill Squadix.
All right.
Much needed win fight for VP.
It was. The value that Morphling got, I think he was able to use the Luna Shard there is why he lived so long. He waveforms and he transforms into Luna. He manages to press the Shard because it's tied to the Glaives, and then he just fought for so long. Both of the heroes actually were very difficult to kill, even through the Eclipse. So really good hold there by VP. They get a lot of very crucial kills. And finally, some breathing room, even though they're down quite a few barracks.
Yeah, the only downside for VP is that, not that they take Roche that fast, but Roche will be up in 30, which basically aligns with OG's respawn timer. And I feel like if OG gets this next Roche, that might just be the nail.
This could be a conflict in the upper.
Yep, the Roche off. It's beginning.
Tower is under attack.
Everyone's favorite part of the game.
It's got us set up for it.
Seb very close to that level 3 finger. Has Force Staff, Blink, going for Lotus next.
It's had such a good game. 4, 4, and 13.
It's funny, the cores for OG are, I mean, they're farm, but they're not nearly as farm as VP, other than Tomato, who's he's 8K ahead of everyone in the game. Absurd.
It's an interesting point. Probably just because the cores, I mean, I'm so super, look how much net worth Ari has in reference point, by the way. That's
true.
Position. That's wild. But they spent so much time looking for kill setups that when VP's playing greedy, 3 cores in different places, they are getting pickoffs, but they are also farming well. Luna being able to kind of farm faster than all of them has just been really far ahead, but it's still a good place to be. There's finally the rock throw.
Oh yeah, everyone's been waiting for that one.
Rocks!
You know, I have to say, that's the most impressed with a hero design that I've witnessed from Valve. Because they took a boss and made it a hero, I think, and they actually kept it true to the effects that were in the game.
I mean, there's been a couple times in Dota's history where I heard like rumors. You know, there'll be like a TI where a hero's about to come out, and they let a couple players play it, and then we hear rumors about what their abilities are, and it sounds to me like they usually have like a good, toolbox of skills to pick from. So it changes sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Stupid neat.
Smoke from OG. They're gonna spot Roche. And their Roche, I mean, the fighting in the pit has to be OG favored. They have so much AoE.
They do. But it depends where the fight happens. If it's in the pit, yeah, they're in a great spot. Trying to use illusions and Hoodwink here to get some scout off. BZM in a great position on the right. His smoke breaks, now he's going in.
Yeah, well, the Morphling is who they want. He's pretty damn tanky. Boats coming in will not hit, as noticed is a Black Dragon, so has an Aghanim Scepter to work with. Rock Throw, very cool effect. Hits nothing, of course. It's BZM resetting a bit as they clean up the Dragon Knight illusions. And Tomato with that butterfly is going to be very hard to deal with now for VP, as we talked about. And ooh, does VP actually want to fight? I mean, OG could just wait out the dragon for him. It's a pretty big aspect of this VP lineup. He's going to give some vision from the trees. There's the smoke. VP want to fight. BZM is who they see. The rock throw actually hits onto the Dragon Knight. Gleipnir as well. BZM going with the onslaught, canceling it though. Looks like they really want to wait this out as the Pulverize connecting basically on 3 heroes.
Pretty good.
Trying to get out the uppers. Tomato with the Eclipse, focusing everything onto Kitrich. He does have the BKB activated, still taking massive damage along with Notice. And now VP, they lose their Ench. He buys back. And looks like the Morphling will get cleaned up. 80 seconds, he is dead. And the Ench, that's a dieback. So OG continuing to try to clean up on the outskirts of this fight, but they could just secure Roche now. Man, and potentially the game.
The way that OG has been positioning these team fights has just been so good. Every single engagement, it is Primal Beast, 400 units next to the Kunkka. And if either person gets gone on, they are semi-covered by their items and their skills and their allies behind them. You haven't seen Ari get caught once. I haven't seen Seb get caught once. Every fight is forcing VP to go in on these tanky frontliners, and because OG has a bit of an advantage in net worth, they just wash off the damage. Even going on the Morphling was pretty good. They forced him to heavily morph into strength. He loses mana, he loses opportunity, because then he can't initiate for another handful of seconds. And then Seb instantly crosses the map to look for kills. Like, they're just playing so good.
And when you're attribute shifting that much, you're not going to be doing that much damage. You're just a tank after all that.
And he has tanked an insane amount, by all means,
has.
with that Luna Shard and with BKB, but their damage is just not quite there. They needed more, maybe out of the Enchantress to have a better game, or maybe they needed DK to be ahead. He's got great net worth, but he's just someone they can deal with a bit. They can kill the illusions with Lion, with damage. Just Luna's a monster. It's hard for them to compete with that.
Yeah, they got to kill her twice now. And then there's Cheese on top for BZM. And if they can time this between dragon forms, there is some time in between, of course.
It's almost out right now, actually.
And that is going to provide another huge boost for OG to try to finish off these tiebreakers. Tomato, he's X'd right now. Won't do too much to the buildings yet. But you absolutely cannot let this Luna in your base. Backdoor protection kicks in. Tomato getting some love from Seb.
Are we watching? Oh,
That's
the next
way.
Other than this one.
Other than this one, yeah. We're creep watching. Very creepy. Tomato now should be able to secure the range racks. And there is a fortification for VP.
Man, these glaives are just so good against these blink heroes, because if you get close to initiating, you get a bounce on you, and all of a sudden you just gotta wait 3 seconds, and
yeah, that's
kind of
true.
rinse repeat here. Tomato is getting low, so there's a little, just kidding, it's over.
Satanic, yep, good stuff.
All right, he doesn't have Satanic now, though.
That is true. Inside the Sprout, that's one way to prevent him from hitting your barracks, but he Manta's out.
Oh.
Look at the damage onto the Ench. It gets X back into the boat. That is a dead Ench for sure. Tomato in the meantime, no Satanic, but he does pop the Eclipse. Morphling attribute shifting with the BKB. The Pulverize is on top. They're not doing any damage, though. Tomato is taking the brunt. That is the Aegis. We'll be back shortly. Seb buys back instantly as the Torrent into the Lucent Beam onto Kittredge. He's going to have to back up now. We'll have to fully reset in all likelihood. That just means Tomato can focus on the buildings if he wants, but he's chasing for the time being. They get the X into the Torrent, into the Lucent Beam with the Conda. Down goes Notice. There's the fortification. But Tomato and company should be able to secure Megas, or they can just try to go for Throne, I suppose, but there is just one melee Rax remaining in the bot. DK buys back, but no Dragon form. This has to be the last stand for VP. Notice goes in with the Dragon Tail. BZM with the Onslaught gets the stun. Lucent Beam as well. Pulverize on top as the Ember is taking massive damage. We'll try to go in, but looks like Sayush gets killed off in the meantime.
Oh, the bounce.
Buys back instantly. FNG will drop, and this will be mega creeps for OG. As BZM gets Searing Chains mid onslaught, and now Tomato can work on the tier 4 towers. As VP running out of steam quickly. The tier 4 is already evaporating. The Ancient fully exposed. Noticed? Okay, Adaptive Strike applied. That's a lot of damage to Tomato. He pops the Satanic. Not able to really right-click too much, though, but the Pulverize coming in for BZM. Beautiful Torrent as well. Morphling is dead, and so are VP, as they call GG out of this one. They are eliminated from